creating spill mats for set dressing using FP-90 polyurethane rubber. Now, a spill mat is a pre-made spill of any kind of liquid, be it coffee, oil, blood, whatever, but it's poured up in typically a polyurethane rubber, so it's easy to take up off the floor again and move around. And this is great for continuity on film and television projects, and overall these are fairly simple to make, and then of course easy to store, and then they can be reused for other shoots. And typically we just store these on a flat piece of wax paper or on a board somewhere, but kept away from dust and things like that. But the whole idea is that way you have a spill that can be used over and over again, and it looks exactly the same for continuity. Now what we're doing here is I'm putting some clear packing tape around the edge of this pane of glass. Now typically when a spill mat is poured like this is Elizabeth here from Storyteller Effects. And typically when she pours up a spill mat like this, she uses this sheet of glass and sprays it with E236 mold release before she pours the polyurethane. So here she's leveling that, and then I'm putting clear packing tape around the edge. And the reason I'm doing that is because this time around I wanted to do it a little different. I wanted to actually pour a layer of silicone first, so they would have a permanent silicone mold for the spill mats, and that by a mold I mean basically just a big piece of silicone on which to pour those spill mats later on. So this clear packing tape is going to act as a little dam to keep the material from running off the sides. And basically the reason I'm doing the silicone mat before I make the spill mats is because that way we don't have to worry about the polyurethane trying to stick to the glass, because even when you're using a release like E236, polyurethane rubber like FP-90 is very adhesive in its liquid state. So it just makes it a lot easier to pour these on a silicone mat and much easier to peel off later on without distorting the finished spill mat. So once we got that leveled and dammed up with the clear packing tape, I'm ready to release that glass. Again, really important because silicone also really wants to stick to glass. So to prevent that, we're going to spray that down with Zip 301 mold release. Real important to use Zip 301 or a non-silicone mold release for this process, because if we were to use a mold release like E236, that would act as an adhesion promoter, and that would cause our silicone not only to stick, but stick probably really well to that glass surface. Now what I'm doing here is calculating the volume, because really I don't need but maybe 1/8 of an inch. So I calculated length times width and then figured out roughly the cubic inches, and then divided that in half again, divided it in half one more time, and that winds up being about 4.5 pounds of silicone that we'll need to make about 1/8 of an inch thickness of silicone. Now, since many of you have already seen a lot of videos where I mix up silicone, I skip that part for time's sake. But what I've done here, this is TC5130F platinum silicone, and that of course is a fast setting platinum silicone formula. This has a working time of about 7 to 8 minutes at room temperature, and then a demold time right around an hour, sometimes a little bit more if it's a little bit cool. And I added a little bit of blue silicone pigment, just because by itself TC5130F is a translucent platinum silicone, so it'd be real hard to see where I'm putting it on this glass. So just adding a little bit of that blue pigment helps me see where I'm applying that. And here I'm just using a brush to help spread that out, because it is such a thin layer. I actually have to kind of guide the silicone on where to go, so I don't wind up using up that working time, allowing this to just self-level. And I'm being very careful. I degassed that silicone, and I'm being very careful as I'm brushing it, moving it around, not to stir up air bubbles or trap air bubbles in that surface. So once I get that all spread out, again, we want to remember that we have a pretty fast working time. So 7 to 8 minutes at room temperature and about a 1 hour demold. So now I'm going back and just using a tongue depressor that I broke in half lengthwise here to break up any little surface bubbles. And now I'm going to let that set up the rest of the way. Now the actual surface of this mold, so basically I'm making a giant flat mold. And the surface of the mold is actually the upside right there that I'm popping the bubbles on. That's the side that we'll actually use as a pouring surface for our spill mats. And the reason for that is that open air will give us a nice, really glossy surface, which will be perfect for our spill mats. Now, since this is a platinum silicone, that means it can be accelerated with mild heat. So we were working in a shop environment of right around 70 degrees, so I waited the full about 60 to 90 minutes is typically the set time at right at about 70 degrees. But just remember, you can always speed that up by applying mild heat. So just putting this close to a space heater or just in a warm work environment will speed it up drastically. Now, FP-90 is the material we'll be using to pour these spill mats. And FP-90, the part B, I've already added some black pigment to that. Now, typically FP-90, I've shown this in previous videos where I've used this for pouring up props. This is, again, Elizabeth pouring up a prop dagger using some of that black pigmented FP-90. So typically we show this being poured into molds and then demolded and trimmed and all for a lot of different prop making applications. It's great for these kind of semi-rigid props like knives and guns and things like that you don't want to be too wiggly. And I'll show this knife process in a video coming up. This is a knife that Elizabeth cast using a piece of carbon fiber as an armature inside. So the tip would still bend, but still very safe to handle, and the pokey end isn't going to do any damage to anybody. But that's typically how we use FP-90, is typically as a material for casting rubber weapons like this. So again, more about that in a future tutorial, so stay tuned for that. And here you can see that how the tip of that doesn't have an armature in it, so the tip is kind of bendy, but then that carbon fiber, it's just a flat piece of carbon fiber material inside that gives a lot of stability to that really thin knife blade. So here is my FP-90, and I want to make sure I shake up that B really well before each use. So I went ahead and pigmented the entire gallon side of that part B with the 6902 black pigment. And that, of course, is a phthalate-free polyurethane pigment. Real important. Always use compatible pigments. Don't be putting acrylic paint or something like that in there that could damage the material or cause it not to cure correctly. Now, FP-90, of course, this is a fast-setting Shore A90 polyurethane rubber. So that means it's just shy of being like a hard plastic, but still a fair amount of give, especially in thin sections. And of course, as I mentioned, that has the black pigment already added, the 6902. And this is a 2-to-1 mix ratio, 2 parts of B to 1 part of A by weight. So you always want to be as accurate as possible. And I'm going to be vacuum degassing this batch, so that's why I've got this in this kind of short but wide mixing cup. And the reason for that, I want to have plenty of room for this to expand and collapse when it's subjected to a vacuum. So real important, remember this is a fast-setting polyurethane rubber. That's what the FP stands for, fast production. So you want to make sure as soon as you get that mixed up, which only takes about a minute, maybe a minute and a half of really thorough mixing to get the components well mixed together, we want to immediately get that into the vacuum chamber and pull a vacuum on it. And this is one of the reasons why always a good idea to have a vacuum chamber with a high capacity vacuum pump so that you can quickly pull a vacuum on your material. So if you're working with fast setting materials like this, you can quickly vacuum degas these and still have plenty of working time. So if you have a slow vacuum pump, you wind up wasting a lot of working time just waiting for the material to rise and collapse. So you'll see here, again, just like when we're vacuum degassing silicone, we're waiting for it to rise and then collapse. And once it goes through that cycle of rising and collapsing, we're ready to bleed off the vacuum and take it out and do our pour. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is to be aware of the time from the time you put the two materials together till the time you do your pour. Because with these fast-setting materials like this, you can very easily use up your valuable working time mixing and measuring and degassing if you are not careful. So I wanted a kind of an irregular shape with this puddle, kind of almost like a splat of oil or something like that. And obviously you can pour your spill in any shape or any size that you need. You're only limited by the size of the surface that you're pouring this onto. And again, there's no reason you can't use just a piece of glass that's been properly released. But again, for my purposes here, I wanted to do this so this way when the FP-90 is cured, it's much easier to carefully lift that off without accidentally getting distorted edges from trying to peel that up. Because again, even with the E236 release, it will still grab the glass a little bit. So just be prepared for that, and make sure when you're making these mats like this that you let the material cure completely. So since this is typically 60 to 90 minutes at room temperature, remember that thin cross sections like this might take a little bit longer, so give it the full 90 minutes. Now what I'm doing here, this was pretty soon after I did the pour. I sprayed it with some E236 mold release. And the reason for that is to break any bubbles that are popping up to the surface, but more importantly, to keep anything from sticking to this that might land on that spill mat, so it doesn't accumulate dust or anything like that. So giving it a little blast of E236 just gives it a nice glossy surface, and that way later on we don't wind up with kind of a matte look to that. And if you're using FP-90 or any of the other FP rubbers for this kind of application, this is definitely one of those things you definitely want to play around with. If you're doing more transparent colors, because if you're doing a mat that's going to look like blood or something like that, you can use the 7400 dyes instead of the 6900 pigments, because the dyes will actually give you a transparent color. Now, as usual, I will link to all of the products that I used in the video description, so be sure to check that out. And in this case, pretty simple list of stuff to use. If you want to bypass the silicone step, you can do this on a well-released sheet of glass that's been leveled out. But all of those materials will be linked in the video description, so be sure to check that out. And here is our finished oil spill. So you see we get a nice realistic oil spill, and we can of course pick that up and move it around, and easy to reset and put right back into place. Great for continuity, and they can be used over and over for years on end. And on the end screen, I will link to a previous video where Elizabeth showed us some spill mats she made for some previous productions, even spills of like water and things like that. Now what I'm doing here is just cutting away that plastic tape and removing that, because now we don't need that anymore. And I was about to peel the silicone off, but Elizabeth stopped me because she said, hey, we'll just use the silicone stuck to the glass just like it is. But if she wants to, at some point, she could easily peel that off the mat and just roll it up, and she'll have a mold on which to pour future spill mats. So there you have the process of making spill mats using FP-90 polyurethane rubber. And if you need them softer, FP series rubbers come in a variety of Shore A values. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, and again, be sure to check the video description for the product links.